Hello, welcome back to Grandpa's Workshop. I'm Loz, and as always you're welcome in the workshop. Bit of a Sunday update and a waffle. I've not been very active, a number of health related things. Just so you know, don't get too close to the camera. I've come down with shingles. The old Gits disease. I had really bad cold sores in primary school over 60 years ago, and apparently my immune system was a bit down at the start of this week, and I started noticing little eruptions, and with half an hour it was all across my chest and round my back. Quick trip to the doctors, and now I'm on antivirals 5 times a day for a week, and then painkillers, nerve pain you would not believe. So that's been keeping me up. Anyway, so I'm a week behind, but I have a bit of a tool haul. I've not rigged an upright one because one of the things I have got as part of my workshop upgrading, I'm carrying on doing workshops. As you know, I've got one next month to try and give me some skills, and then 2025 I'm going to try and do more regular projects for mine and your entertainment. So part of that is kitting the garage out better for filming. I've got decent lighting. I'm not putting I understand. I'm not bothering putting 3-point lighting in or using my Fuji cameras because I'm getting decent enough quality here on an iPhone and the LED strip lighting. What I have done is I've upgraded. I had a cheap, I don't think you can see it, I'll make sure a little bit, one of those like old-fashioned desk lamp thingies. It's cheap and I was using it for some overheads, but it's not the right distance. So I bought myself one of these with some nice two-way toothed cams for adjusting the various bits and a screw on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach little brackets at various points to cover the machines in their final arrangements to do the filming. So watch out for that. What else have I done? Right, now, following the last workshop, I came home enamoured of the old Stanley number 80 cabinet scraper. So I went on Amazon late night and I bought myself a faithful version, which basically, because the Stanley's out of copyright, they've copied it down to a T. The actual handles, pretty good, a nice flat sole, but so far this is not up to working. Paul Sellers, quite a few years back I think, he did a review of this because he likes cabinet scrapers, and what he found is that when you take the scraper blade out, carbide burnisher. So I ordered myself a Narex to go with this. And what you do, as I found out on the workshop, you regrind the blade one way up 45 degrees and then bend it over for the hook with the burnisher. What Paul found is that Faithful are supplying them with a 25 degree bevel, which means it's useless out of the box and you have to grind it to 45 degrees and then put a burr on. I'm finding it a problem because my 1000 diamond plate is just a little too narrow and the blade is just too wide to go in a standard blade sharpening jig. The plain blades, it's a bit wider. So I've got to get myself a proper set of metal files like I did on the course, and then that will be coming into use, and I like it. You can get Veritas versions. I mean, you can get second-hand versions from 25 to 50 quid. I think this was £25 brand new, but you can get old Stanleys from 25 to 50 quid on eBay, depending on the state of them. I would suggest, rather than buy this and going through that faff of regrinding the angle, you get one that's ready made. So that's a start. Before I came down these shingles, I nipped out. There's a couple of stops up the train line from me. There's just on the Lancashire-Yorkshire border, there's a little town called Tobden, which has a lovely indoor market, and it has on a Thursday it has a flea market. And I know from past visits there's a very good tool stall there. I might show you. I think I took some little videos of it. That's basically, it's three or four stalls worth of old tools, and I fancied getting a whole batch to do a proper tool haul. As it happens, the week I went, there wasn't a lot there, but what I did get was a Stanley Bailey number 4, which I don't know if you can see, it's just grimy. The handles are in, the totes are in good condition. Well, there's plenty of blade left. It just needs a good degreasing and a bit of a polishing up. So I got that for £10. Well, you can get these on eBay for between 25 and 50 quid, depending on the state of them. I didn't fancy doing a lot of restoration. I've got my Quangsheng number 5 and I've got a B&Q number 4. So I think I'll be doing this one up, and the 4 and 5 and the little block plane. That's enough hand planes for a hybrid workshop. But I'm pleased with that for a tenner. Now, what else have I got? While I was out, it seems strange, some Kilner jars. The actual chromed wire fixings are showing a bit of corrosion, but it's not for food. It's for this. Some triple knot graded steel wool and some white vinegar. So here's a quiz for you guys. White vinegar, a Kilner jar, and this. What could I possibly be using it for? Stop the video now and put your answer in the comments below, and we'll see how many of you get it. There's your homework. Right, are we ready? Do you remember I showed you I was doing some tea light holders? I had a set, they're all in oak, and I'd done a set of 3s for the daughter, and I'd done a big long one for the as a table runner. Now, daughter likes oak, so I've made a few more that's going to another member of the family that I'll be using this for. So apparently what you do is you dissolve a load of very fine wire wool in white vinegar. So if you stuff this in there, stuff this in there, and the acid in the vinegar will corrode the metal down and make iron oxide in the vinegar. And you keep feeding it the steel wool till it eats no more. And then that, if you put on wood with tannin, it ebonizes the wood. So, I'm going to be experimenting. I'm going to do a jar of the ebonizing liquid and a jar of really strong tea, because tea has tannin in, and I'm going to see how effective it is with European oak, with the tannin solution, and then maybe put some tannin in some ordinary white deal. I've got pieces lying around, to see how that works if I get some tea soaked wood with the tannin in. So that's going to be a little experiment that I'll be doing its own video on in the future. So there we go there. Now, wood turning. I've seen a couple of workshops, so they're next on my list after this one. You'll know that I'm looking. Oh, it's that side. I've got a little draper mini lathe that I've done very little on, just done a few spindles very roughly. I'll skip to the video about that now. Right, so those of you that have been watching my videos for some time will have seen this little draper mini wood lathe sat in the corner. So when I bought it, about £260, I think it's still under 300. It's got 250 watts, 230 volt, 50 hertz power, as I say, 250 watts. It says it's got a 200 mil turning capacity, so yeah, not much over 6 inches, and a 300 mil or 1 foot length. It's got fully adjustable dial-in speeds between 750 and 3,200 revolutions a minute. It comes with the little spike end for the drive end and a freewheeling spike at this to pinch your wood between. It also comes with 2 sizes of rest for along the length and across the width for small bowls, and it comes with 2 face plates that you can screw the base of your piece to. It comes in that size and that size, and I've been rather nervous about doing anything on it until my last course, where I had some practice turning some little spindle legs. You see in the back I've had the 1, 2, 3, the set of 6 draper wood turning gouges. There's a spindle and a ball gouge in 2 sizes, a parting tool and some flat edge tools I've forgotten the name of. So that's a good start. I've taken them out of the box and I've rejigged an old screwdriver holder and a magnetic strip that's on a French cleat to hold those in places, and you'll see the other bits that I've got for it, and I can feel a couple of wood turning workshops coming on before I get started in the new year properly. Right, we're back. So, but I've been having a look at stuff for the longer term, and I thought I'd get myself a lathe chuck, a proper lathe chuck. Now, the draper, such as it is, apparently has what you screw on, the draper has a 3/4 inch 16 teeth per inch screw thread for screwing the face plates and your chuck on, whereas most of the European models come with a 1 inch 8 teeth per inch. So when I wanted to buy a lathe chuck, I was getting, and I didn't want to spend more than 50 quid or so out of my monthly spends, so I was struggling to get a lathe chuck that comes in that 3/4 inch 16 teeth per inch instead of the 1 inch 8 teeth per inch. I've got that right. Anyway, I found one. It's a Vinmox. And I'll show you the opening. That's the front. I get a nice "Thank you, dear customer." And it's a four-jaw self-centering lathe chuck. And that's the instructions. It comes with, let's see, wrapped up. That's a weighty little beast. Now, the actual 4 jaws, that they're self-centering, you adjust them, and they come with a dovetail grip, so I can either have them that way, where you turn a little dovetail in the bottom of your bowl and then put this on, and it grips by opening them outwards, so the dovetail presses outwards. Or you can unscrew them, turn these the other way around and grip that way. Now, can you see the deliberate mistake? Yeah, it is in actual fact a 1 inch 8 teeth per inch thread. Oh dear. But ta-da! This was one of the few that comes with an adapter. So that goes on and that fits on the lathe. Well, that's the plan. So what else does it come with? A set of adjusters, a little hex spanner to take off and turn around. So those go in there to open and close the jaws. That's for turning the jaws around, and you also get I can't get it out. A little centre screw to screw into your wood as well as I thought was quite new, a little automatic centre punch, all for I think 65, including postage. Bought it on Amazon. It took me a look. I might put a link down for you below if any of you have one of the drapers and need an upgrade. But what was I going to say? I'm very pleased with that. It means after I've been and done a 1 day or a couple of days workshop with somebody who knows what he's doing, so I'm not scared of taking my fingers off. I can make a start next year. So that's that. I'm very pleased with that. So that's setting myself up, not quite finished. So I've got the lathe, I've got my face plates and my centres, screw holding, I've got that cheap set of drapers. The other thing I've got is a turner's sanding pack I got off Amazon. So basically it's a little set of rolls of sandpaper from 150 to 600 grit. So that's going to go on the wall so I can pull them off for just sanding. That's that. You've seen the NowX burnisher, which is a nice wooden handle and a nice chrome vanadium. I'm going to be ebonising these when I've finished off the writing on them. What else is there? Oh yes, did I mention my orbital sander had died? Well, what I'd done, I tried burnishing wood by putting a scouring pad on it, and when I took the scouring pad off, it left half a scouring pad on the the circular Velcro system that holds your pads on, so it completely ruined it. So I bit the bullet, sold a kidney. Is that my 5th and my 6th kidney I've sold? Keeps going back, so don't worry too much about it. And I bought myself a new a random orbital sander this time rather than orbital sander, and I can't remember who it was that recommended this. It was one of the proper woodworkers that I follow. I've got a flappy paddle one. My first grown-up sander. So it's a Menza, and it's pretty good. Let me show you. I can't show you. It's got something like an 8 or 9 foot cable, and as I say, it has an on-off button here, which if I turn it on, can you see, and an adjustable speed control, and it's really nice and quiet. It came with a set of cheap 120 grit pads. I would recommend it. I've used it a bit on my small projects and I'm dead chuffed. And it's got an adapter for the vacuum that actually fits with the standard tube. That fits on the end of that. So I've got an easily accessible rust extraction for the first time. Job's a good one. I'll put that down there. So, what else? Oh. Big thanks to Ben, who has a channel called Hugh and Awe, HEW_AWE. I might put a link down below. He's a woodworker with skills who's just done a review of the hooked on wood T-square with the adjustable wheel guides. He gives it a down. But he's also done a review of the Hongdui router plane. Now, this is a router plane on the same lines as the Veritas router plane, but it's a more modern, updated version. Ben really gives it a positive review. You might have seen it because Cat's Moses, he does a branded version of this Hong Dewey. He did it a Cat's Moses version in collaboration, a bit like the Hooked on Wood guy did with Hong Dewey for the T-Square. And I've been looking at this for months and months and months, but I couldn't bring myself to pay 200 quid for such a specialised little tool, even if it is really, really, really very pretty for my heritage toolbox. But as Ben points out, it's 50% off. So instead of 200 and odd, I paid £99. It's 110 including postage from within the UK. So we'll see whether they live up to that and whether it comes from China after all. So anyway, that's what I've just got, and I'll give you a hands-on first impressions when it comes. But Ben from, as I say, Hue and Awe, give him a like and a subscribe. He knows what he's talking about. Sometimes he comes across as a bit negative, but he's got some dry humour thrown in there at the same time. So that's a recommendation both for his channel and the fact that he's flagged up a half-price deal on a little router plane, which he reckons is better than the Veritas, and at half price it's certainly worth a punt. The other one I'll give you is a new UK channel that I've found. It's Nick. He's got a channel called Mokuzai Design. Mokuzai is Japanese for wood or woodworking, I think he mentioned it. He's only just started up. He's a retired professional woodworker who couldn't stay retired, and he's now got himself 2 little back-to-back workshop spaces somewhere, and he's starting putting some really interesting channel uploads. So Mokuzai, Mokuzai Design, and Nick. So have a look at that, and if you fancy it, give him a sub on the same way you've been on Hue and Awe. That's me for the moment. Right, before I go, I know some of the guys I watch have been bitten by the little bug again and have been buying, so I went in and had a look, and what did I come back with? Parkside one-handed, well, they call them bar clamps. The one-handed bar clamps, I call them quick clamps. So you can never have too many. So for my small projects, that's another 4. But there's more. What I also spotted, I think for £1 a pair more, I've got some F-clamps, the screw clamps. I'm not enamoured sometimes of the quality of the little ridges which enable you to fix the clamps, but at £3 each, 12 quid for 4, it was worth a punt. Then you wonder why your weekly shopping comes back 20 or 30 quid more than you thought it was going to be. So that's that. There we go. I think that's enough for a Sunday waffle. It's always good to see you and talk to you. Tell me how you're doing in your workshops. Point out any YouTubers that I might not have seen. Don't forget to have a look at Hue and Awe, Ben, and Mokuzai Design, Nick. See if you like them. If so, give them a like, subscribe and a thumbs up. I'm going in for my cup of tea now. I'll see you again. You take care, guys.